Hi all, let's check a short introduction about Salesforce. So we can visit and we can check like what kind of a requirements we have in the Salesforce, what kind of a functionality we have in our Salesforce. So let's go back and let's check this. Okay, so let's start this. As you can see, it's about a short introduction about the Salesforce. Let's proceed it. Yes. So this is the agenda of our demo session. Like we will check some introduction about Salesforce. We will check like how many editions we have in the Salesforce. Edition is something like, guys, let's say where you can do the implementation, like what kind of a environment you have. We will see some kind of a admin and the development functionality. And at the end, we will check some interface of Salesforce. So let's proceed with the next point, that is our introduction. So before we will jump into the Salesforce, we have to understand a very basic term, that is cloud and computing. These two keywords are not new for anyone. Like everybody is familiar with the cloud, everybody knows about the computing. So let me just give you a more brief about this cloud and the computing. Guys, cloud is what? Where we can store the data. Computing is what? Accessibility of your data. And what kind of a accessibility? It's a ubiquitous access. That means you can access whenever you want, wherever you want. Like your Gmail. Gmail is what? This is also a kind of cloud services. Whenever you want, wherever you want, you can easily access. So in this cloud services, what we have? We have our data, which is stored. So what is cloud computing? Let's see the definition now. Yes. Simply put, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, including servers, storage, database, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet, the cloud, to offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. So, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is a kind of a platform where we can deliver the computing services, like we can deliver the servers, storage, databases, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence. Like as I said, cloud where we can store the data, computing where we can access the data. So this kind of a definition we have about our cloud computing. Now let's check the other term. Now, what is Salesforce? Everybody knows the term Salesforce. They think this is some kind of a tool. They think this is some kind of a cloud. First of all, you have to understand what is the Salesforce. Basically, Salesforce is an American cloud computing company which offer CRM services. So, Salesforce is a company, but they offer the CRM services. Now, let's check a whole definition about Salesforce. You can see it's a famous American cloud-based software company that provides CRM services. Salesforce is a popular CRM tool for support, sales, and marketing teams worldwide. Guys, CRM, Customer Relationship Management Services. Customer Relationship Management Services. So Salesforce is a popular CRM tool for support, sales, and marketing teams worldwide. Salesforce services allow business to use cloud technology to better connect with partners, customers, and potential customers. CRM services. Let's say your company is dealing with some kind of a product. If they are dealing with some kind of a product, so they have a customer's data. And if they have a customer, so customer will register a case as well. That means customer will register a query. In order to track the query, in order to maintain the query, in order to resolve the query, in order to keeping the customer happy, they need some kind of a platform. Through this platform, they will feel connected with their customers. So it is a part of your CRM services. That means Salesforce is something, it's an American cloud-based software. Now I will show you something, just hold on. Have a look. This is a kind of a platform which I have opened through the browser. Browser, that means through our any browser, Chrome, Mozilla, any browser, because I am accessing this cloud. So that means there is no installation, there is no setup. You just need a good internet and the browser, and you can access your Salesforce account. As we have discussed, it's a cloud based software company. This company is providing the CRM services. So if it is a cloud based CRM services, that means like we can access this type of a cloud through our internet. And if you remember in the definition, we have a three keywords: services, marketing, sales. These are the applications which is provided by the Salesforce, like Gmail. Gmail is also kind of a services. It is also kind of an application provided by some kind of a cloud, that is Google. In the same way, Salesforce also provides some applications. Salesforce also provides some services. Although we have a lots of services, but the services which we have checked in the definition, they are most important services of Salesforce. So now you got the clarity. Salesforce is what? It is an American cloud-based software company which provide the CRM features. For an example, if I will click on this marketing application, just have a look. Yeah. In this marketing application, I have some kind of a tabs, TAB tabs. Basically, you can assume it's a marketing application. So customer wants to do the marketing of their products. So might be they are organizing some kind of a webinar. So guys, in order to organize the campaigns, I will use this campaigns tab. By using this campaign tab, I can create my campaign very easily. But I have a thousands customers data I can store in this tab. But from those 1,000 customers data, only 50 customers have shown the interest in my product. So I will move that 50 customers data into my opportunities. Why? Because they have shown the interest. What I'm trying to tell you, this is a marketing application. This is a CRM services provided by the Salesforce. I am trying to explain you the flow of Salesforce, like how it works. So with this campaign, you can launch the webinar. With this lead, you can add the customer's data, the person data, the lead's details data. If the lead is interested in your services, so you can move this data to this tab, because now that customer data becomes your priority, because it is not a general customer. For me, it is a customer who will give me the business, who will give me the revenue. So this is just a very short example in order to understand the Salesforce definition. Now let's go back the same thing. Yeah. So you got the understanding like, yeah, this is an American cloud-based software. Now, we have some companies in which Salesforce is using in a very vast way. So there are some company name which I have added: Adidas, Encino, Amazon Web Services, American Express, US Bank, Bank of America. Encino is also kind of a banking operating system. And this operating system is also based on Salesforce. So many more companies we have. This is just a few prominent company names I have chosen. Meanwhile, when you will do the Google and when you will check, there are lots of companies who are using the Salesforce services, like guys, your education department, hospitality department, banking departments, services department, sales departments, marketing department. Right now, what they have the data. In order to maintain the data, they need a platform. And if I have a cloud, that is very good. And that cloud is a CRM. This is something very good. So these are just a company's name. Now, yes. Guys, we have checked Salesforce. Like, what is Salesforce? Is an American cloud computing company. But Salesforce is just a cloud, as we have discussed, but they have lots of services. A very prominent and the important part of Salesforce is admin. It's an administrator, a basic customization. In admin, there is no prerequisite. You just have to go do the customization. There is no coding. There is no language, nothing. You are a non IT people, you are a commerce background, you have a career gap. Everyone can proceed with this admin part very easily. Basically, if you want to learn the Salesforce, this is a beginner step. That means this is the stage one. So, admin, and we have a one more important term, that is development. Admin is something in which you have to do the customizations about your applications, about your requirements, about your categories. But development is something in which you have to write a code, in which we can use some programming language, that is Apex, which is little bit based on Java. You will use some kind of a designing like HTML, CSS. For this, you have to use this VF. VF is something Visual Force pages. Yeah, development is something where we have to do the coding, where we have to write some kind of a code. For the automations as well, we have to write a code, but in the administrator, there is no code. If you have a doubt, like for the development, there is a requirement of prerequisite. See, no, there is no requirement of prerequisite. Meanwhile, if you want to explore, you can go and you can check it, but you will learn from the basic, you will learn from the scratch about the Java concept, and then you will go with the Apex. Development is not that much hard, but yeah, it will take 100 times efforts to learn the development part. One more thing that I want to highlight. Let's say you have learned the Salesforce admin. Admin is just a beginning step. After learning the admins, you have a lots of options. You can go for the Salesforce CPQ, you can go for the Salesforce business analyst, you can go for the Salesforce development. This is up to you, like which profile do you want to pick. But admin is the beginning step. This is a beginner step. It is mandatory. This is required. This admin will tell you, or it will give you an experience about the Salesforce. With this admin, you will understand what is Salesforce, what are the features of Salesforce. So let's see the definition now, what we have so far in the admin and the development. Admins usually carry out minor declarative changes and have the responsibility of managing releases into production. A developer would typically build functionality, include epics and visual force pages in a sandbox before handing it over to the administrator to schedule deployment. I will come on that point, sandbox. But please understand the definition they are saying. Administrator have to do some declarative changes. But as being a developer, you have to build some kind of a typical functionality by using some programming language and by using some designing languages. So what is this sandbox and what is this production? Guys, basically, sandbox is a testing environment. Of course, when you will join a company, so they will not give you the rights of the production environment. They will give you the rights of sandbox. In the sandbox, you can test your code. So after testing the code, you can push your code, you can push the requirement, everything you can push in your production environment. But first of all, in order to test the code, you have to work with the sandbox. This is something we have in our definition. Now let's proceed and let's see the next thing. So here they have mentioned, let's create an Salesforce edition account and understand how it works. Let me come and let me just highlight this point, Salesforce Developer Edition account. Guys, basically Salesforce have multiple editions. Like in our software, we have a paid versions, we have a unpaid versions. For this developer editions as well, we have a paid editions and we have some unpaid editions. So definitely when we will start the practical part, we have to work with this unpaid edition, and that edition name is developer edition. Now might be you thought like if we are working with the unpaid edition, so the functionality, the user interface, everything is different if I will compare with the paid edition. No, nothing is different. There is a difference about the configurations. Let's say you can assume an example of your mobile phones. You have a you can assume it's a node phone. Okay, so the model is same, the color is same, the camera size is same, everything is same, but there is a difference between the RAM. Might be in this node phone we have a 4 GB RAM, and in the second node phone we have a 8 GB RAM. So we have a differences between the RAM, but although the functionality, the user interface, everything is same. The same thing I want to highlight here with this paid edition or with this unpaid edition, everything will be same, including your user interface, including your practical, including your components, functionality, everything is same. There is a difference between some configurations, that's it. So before I will show you this page, this developer edition, let me just show you one more thing. If you remember, I have highlighted about the developer. Like in the Salesforce, we can do the admin as well as a developer. So where a developer can write the code, like where is the environment? Because as being a developer, I need an environment where I can write my code. So if I will click on this gear icon, we have a developer console. This developer console will give me the rights where I can do the code, where I can write my code. Now I have a two windows, one for the admin and one for the development. Development will allow me, or the developer will allow me to write the code, because this developer console will give you the environment. Okay, environment, it's a kind of a platform where we can do the coding. So you should know, if you want to access the CRM services, you have to come to this app launcher. Through this app launcher, you can access your CRM services like your application, which plays the admin part. If you want to work with the developer part, you want to write a code, you want to do some typical functionality, you can go with this developer console. This is something we have in our admin and in the development. But guys, remember one thing, if you want to learn the Salesforce, admin is the beginner step and it is required. You can't directly jump on the developer part or the CPQ part or the business analyst part. No. First, you have to learn the admin, which is very required. Now the point is user interface. So if I will click on this setup icon, let me just show you a small user interface. Just hold on. A small user interface I will show you. So if you remember, I clicked on that gear icon and I clicked on that setup. What is that meaning? Basically, I am going to my main home page where I can see my dashboard, and with the dashboard I can track my recent activity. So you can see where we are. We are on the home page, and let that page come. So this page will display you the dashboard, and that dashboard will tell you the activity about your org. So you can see I have worked with this Apex class, this user, this debug, this custom app, this user. So they are showing me the recent activity which I did so far with my org, O-R-G org. You can't say that account because technically you have to use this keyword org, organization. This is my organization. This is my org where I can do the testing, production, deployment, development. I can do anything. Now let's switch to the next point. The next point is how you can create your account. So I will just guide you a simple sorted step, not all steps. So this is the official link, developer.salesforce.com. When you will visit this page, they have multiple trials, but we have to pick the edition, which is developer edition. Developer edition come with no expiry date. There is no expiry date in the developer edition. So it is taking time. Yeah, you can see this browse trials. If I will click on this browse trials, they will give me multiple trials, but our main trial is the Salesforce developer edition. If you will scroll down, you will see 30 days, 30 days, 30 days never expires. Basically, these are the paid versions in short. But the Salesforce Developer Editions, which comes with no expiry date, developer enterprise quality apps passed with this full featured Salesforce editions that never expires. So if you have a question in your mind, like we have to do any kind of a setup, any kind of a installation, no, nothing. You have to come to this page, you have to click on this sign up, and you have to put the details, and after some time you will be able to access your Salesforce Developer Edition account. This is how you can create your free edition of Salesforce, in which whenever you want and when you want to access it, you can easily access this. There is no issue, there is no problem. Now let me just go back. Okay. So this is all for the demo session. Hope you have learned something. So thank you everyone.